This isn't going well. Ouch, I have a bad feeling about this. that is a wipe. This is what happens when you go exploring abandoned derelicts full of monsters and space aliens with an inexperienced party, bad gear and poor understanding of game mechanics. So, hopefully during this video I'm going to pass on to you my experience and knowledge gained from multiple party vibes, just like the one you witnessed a moment ago, so you can play Deep Sky Derelicts with ease. My name is Peter, and besides this introduction and tutorial video about this turn-based strategy RPG hybrid with roguelike elements, I make similar videos about a wide range of strategy and simulation games on this channel. Now let's start with choosing the party members and personality traits. No matter if you are playing the campaign or the arena single player modes, there are a few basic rules and tips about character choices and setup. And on the subject of the arena, I would advise you to play it a few times before you get to the campaign, because it's a fast way of experiencing a lot of the combat, character level ups and equipment upgrades. A good party mix is based on one character which can take a lot of damage and survive, called the tank, one which can deal a lot of damage and destroy enemies quickly, and the one that keeps the others two healthy and sane. There are plenty of variations here. Some characters can be changed with upgrades and specializations from tanks to damage dealers, but these are the basic setups. Bruiser, Medic, Inventor, Leader, Tracker, Technician, Technician, Miner, Scrapper. The personality traits are given in accordance with the role of the character. If a Bruiser is the designed tank of the party, then he is given the Skittish trait, which lends him 5 additional % of evasion. If you set him up as the damage dealer, then you would go with the Aggressive trait, giving him 5% more base melee damage. The Medic is your obvious support character, so he is to be given the Neurotic personality trait, which would increase his base initiative stat by 2. This allows him to play first, debuff or disable enemies, and then in the next round once again play first and heal or otherwise buff your other characters. Similarly, the Technician would do the same, but for shields of your characters. A side note on the Technician is that he can also be made into a tank, using specific upgrades and tools. These would let him taunt enemies, buff out defenses and shields, and take up all the punches for the party. As for the damage dealer, he would be getting the mentioned Aggressive trait if he is a melee character, like the Bruiser or Inventor. Or he would be getting the Neurotic trait if it is a range-based damage dealer. But you could always use the Charismatic or Crafty trait if you are using a Leader or a Scrapper in that role, respectively. The one character which really excels in the role of a damage dealer is the Miner from the new Prospectors DLC. His area of effect attacks and heavy-hitting single-target attacks can be devastating. Now if you think your troubles with combining character classes, traits and roles ends here, you are mistaken. At level 4, things get infinitely more complicated with specializations. Demolition, Surgeon, Psyker, Master of Robots, to name just a few of the available 10 areas in which you can specialize your characters. Here you should try and match your character's main skill with the specialization which is a good match. For example, a Leader will be a good Psyker because of his high mental skills, while a Medic will be a great Surgeon. But as you might have guessed, there are a lot of hybrid characters you can make, as long as you give them the necessary skills through implants, upgrades, tools and mods. I know this is a lot of information to process before we even go into the shooting and punching part, but this is how you must approach a game like Deep Sky Derelicts because of its deep gameplay mechanics, complex system of skills, traits and perks. Another very important thing that I must make sure to explain is that some enemies are evasive, and then you need cards and abilities that either remove evasion or ignore it. Then there are the enemies which have high armor rating, and then you need abilities or cards that remove or ignore that armor. And finally, there are some enemies which have high damage resistance, and because of this, once again, you need abilities and cards which will remove or ignore damage resistance. The same goes for the enemy's ability to debuff your party, so you must be able to counter this by removing these debuffs from your party members. This is all an integral part of combat in this game, and the high-level enemies and endgame bosses all have these abilities in spades. Getting your party members ready to face these challenges is something you must plan on from the start of the campaign, otherwise you will meet a very cruel fate in the depths of the mothership. There is another aspect of the game which is poorly explained, but which makes a world of difference for combat. Ambushes. These depend on whether or not you're using the 3 different types of movement and exploration the right way. Firstly, you have the normal mode. In this mode, you cannot be ambushed, but you cannot ambush the enemies either. In the rush mode, they can ambush you, and in the stealth mode, you can ambush them. The intricate thing is that the rush movement mode spends far less energy than the normal mode, while the stealth mode spends a lot more energy. So the right way to apply these movement stances is to scan an unknown area around you, rush through all the places which have no enemies, and slow down to stealth mode 2 rooms before the red marked ones with the triangles. Enter these rooms with the stealth mode and you will get a drop on the enemies. Depending on the roll of the dice, you can attack them several times before they can even move or respond in kind. There are just so many more topics I would need to cover to give you a full understanding of the combat and gameplay mechanics in Deep Sky Derelicts. From traps and gears, over energize and focus fire, to crafting and card drawing. But as that would take a lot more time, I'm going to leave it for another video. If you have enjoyed this one, do not forget to hit that like button below and leave a comment about what other parts of the game would you like to see or hear an explanation about. Thank you for watching and happy gaming!